Welcome to the Office of Foreign Assets Control video in our Export Controls video series. The Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, of the U.S. Department of the Treasury administers economic and trade sanctions based on U.S. foreign policy and national security goals against specific countries, individuals, and entities. OFAC most broadly restricts transactions with comprehensively sanctioned countries: Cuba, Iran, North Korea, Sudan, and Syria. These sanctions programs are country-specific, vary greatly depending on the country and proposed activity, and are constantly changing. Remember that trade embargoes also apply to research materials. OFAC also restricts transactions with individuals and entities on the OFAC Specially Designated Nationals list, one of several government lists of restricted parties. Penalties for OFAC violations can be up to $1 million per violation and up to 20 years in jail for criminal violations. The penalties can apply to the individual, the institution, or both. Your export control lead will review the most recent sanctions regulations and your proposed activity and will provide you with proper documentation if there is no license required for the activity or if a general license exception is available. If a license is required, your export control lead will file a license request for you. There is no charge for this. Proper documentation will help you avoid delays to your research and the penalties described earlier. OFAC regulations apply to United States persons. The term U.S. person means any United States citizen, legal permanent resident, or green card holder, regardless of whether they are located in the U.S. or abroad. It also includes any entity organized under the laws of the United States, any foreign nationals who are currently located in the United States, or, in some cases, outside the U.S. Contact your export control lead for a license review if you are participating in any of the following activities involving a sanctioned country or a listed individual or entity: any imports or exports, including samples, artwork, or any research material; collaboration with individuals residing in a sanctioned country, providing services, including conducting interviews; research in, travel to, including to attend a conference, or transfer of funds to. In addition, check the government restricted party lists before engaging in transactions. Go to the consolidated screening lists and search, or ask your export control lead for access to a university licensed software program that you can use, or ask your export control lead to check for you. Under OFAC sanctions, there is an exception for the export or import of information and informational materials. This exception does not apply to export-controlled technical data or to information or informational materials that aren't already published. If you think this exception might apply, please contact your export control lead. There is also an exception for peer review activities. We've placed a link to both exceptions at the top of the page. If a license is required, it will likely take 3 months or longer to obtain one. Please contact your export control lead as soon as possible. Before we finish, let's take a look at a couple of scenarios to check your knowledge. In this scenario, you're traveling to Cuba to attend a conference.